Hi, this is Caira with the Field House Museum. I will be continuing our poetry series this week, where I will be talking about some of Eugene's works concerning his love of books. Last week we had Dr. Reagan, who talked about Eugene's poems concerning courtship, and in it he mentioned that Eugene was an avid book collector. So I decided to pick up the works of Eugene Field, Love Affairs of a Bibliomaniac. This entire book is dedicated to Eugene's love of books. It was actually part of a complete collection that was published after his death by his wife Julia in 1896. So the introduction is written by his brother Roswell Jr. He says, "The determination to found a story or a series of sketches on the delights, adventures, and misadventures connected with Bibliomania did not come impulsively to my brother. For many years, in short, during the greater part of nearly a quarter of a century of journalistic work, he had celebrated in prose and verse, and always in his happiest and most delightful vein, the pleasures of book hunting. Himself an indefatigable collector of books, the possessor of a library as valuable as it was interesting, a library containing volumes obtained only at the cost of great personal sacrifice, he was in the most active sympathy with the disease called bibliomania, and knew, as few comparatively poor men have known, the half pathetic, half humorous side of that incurable mental infirmity. In his published writings are many evidences of my brother's appreciation of what he has somewhere characterized the soothing affliction of bibliomania. Nothing of book hunting love has ever more happily expressed than the Bibliomaniacs Prayer." And then he goes on to quote a small excerpt from that, but I'm actually going to read the entire poem. It is not found in Love Affairs of a Bibliomaniac. It is in a little book of Western verse, which is also in the collection. So this is the Bibliomaniacs Prayer by Eugene Field. "Keep me, I pray, in wisdom's way, that I may truth's eternal seek. I need protecting care today. My purse is light, my flesh is weak. So banish from my erring heart all baleful appetites and hints of Satan's fascinating art of first editions and of prints. Direct me in some godly walk which leads me away from bookish strife, that I with pious deed and talk may extra illustrate my life. But if, O Lord, it pleaseth thee to keep me in temptation's way, I humbly ask that I may be most notably beset today. Let my temptation be a book which I shall purchase, hold, and keep, wherein other men shall look, they'll wail to know I got it cheap. Oh, let it such a volume be as in rare copper plates abounds, large paper, clean and fair to see, uncut, unique, unknown to lowndes." So in that, as you can see, Eugene is, as it's aptly called, is the Bibliomaniac's Prayer, asking that if he is to be tempted, that may his temptation be a book. That quote actually can be found in the Eugene Field Library at the museum as well. The second poem that I'm going to read does appear in this book. The title is not here, but it is a very spring kind of poem, which you'll see. So, "My garden aboundeth in pleasant nooks, and fragrance is over it all, for sweet is the smell of my old books in their places against the wall. Here is the folio that's grim with age, and yellow and green with mold. There's the breath of the sea on every page, and the hint of a stanch ship's hold. And here is a treasure from France la Belle, exalteth a faint perfume of wedded lily and asphodel, in a garden of song abloom. And this wee little book of Puritan mind and rude conspicuous print hath the Yankee flavor of wintergreen, or maybe of peppermint. In Walton the brooks a babbling tell, where the cheery daisy grows, and where in meadow or woodland dwell the buttercup and the rose. But best beloved of books I ween are those which one perceives are hallowed by ashes dropped between the yellow well-thumbed leaves. For it's here a laugh that it's there a tear, till the treasured book is read, and the ashes betwixt the pages here tell us of one long dead. But the gracious presence reappears as we read the book again, and the fragrance of precious distant years filleth the hearts of men. Come pluck with me in my garden nooks the posies that bloom for all. Oh, sweet is the smell of my old books in their places against the wall. He then goes on to say, better than flowers are they, these books of mine, for what are the seasons to them? Neither can the drought of summer nor the asperity of winter wither or change them. At all times and under all circumstances they are the same, radiant, fragrant, hopeful, helpful. There is no charm which they do not possess, no beauty that is not theirs. So as you can kind of tell from just these few selections, Eugene truly was a bibliomaniac. And you can really kind of feel his passion whenever you read his works when he's talking about it. The complete work, as well as the individual copies, are available in our our online store if you're interested. And thank you again for joining us this week. I hope that you'll tune in next week, where one of our other staff members will be continuing our poetry series, exploring Eugene's works relating to more of his adult poems. Thanks again. Bye.